Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I wanted to discuss a concept or idea that's not new, but it's been brought up recently in a Twitch stream. Shout out to Rogue Patton and Mondroid having their Twitch stream on Sunday nights Gospel or GoSPL on Twitch. They talked about the concept again of fixing potentially a past mistake on Splinterlands, and that being the Chaos Legion set and the Chaos Legion reward set specifically, with the vast number of cards minted at that period of time, specifically through a lot of bot armies, and kind of the overhang that has brought to our economy ever since. Now, what was mentioned on that stream was, again, the concept, not new, talking about, how can we do a card burn that would make sense, that could help shore up those assets in parallel with what's being done on land, with increased land utility, being able to create different items, and the value of the Chaos Legion set for land. What could be done with a card burn that could continue to reduce and take out of circulation those Chaos Legion reward cards and Chaos Legion cards in general, to add value back to those cards and make them a little bit scarcer. So that's what we're going to talk about here in this video today. I think it's a very interesting topic. I'm going to present a number of different data points and numbers to consider, and I think it's going to be an idea that might gain some traction here. And take a listen to the video here and let me know what you think. Suffice to say, what I did here is I crunched a lot of data. I took a lot of data points on the card market, looking at specifically the Chaos Legion reward cards, the Chaos Legion set, as well as the Rebellion set. And what I wanted to do is crunch all this data and come up with a recommendation, which is this right here, of what we could do for a potential card burn. Now, the idea behind all this data crunching, I'm not going to necessarily bore you with all the details, but we crunched a lot of numbers, a lot of data, and basically the recommendation that I was able to generate here based on that data coming from the market, coming from the mint numbers, was that if the team created a new reward card set, in this case a DAO burning set, right, a dust set basically, where the Splinterlands development team would create a specific limited edition set of essentially reward cards or promo cards or dust cards, whatever you want to call them. The only way to actually receive or mint these dust cards or from this dust card set would be to burn existing cards. Now, basically, what the recommendation is to mirror the Chaos Legion reward card set number of cards. Basically, 10 commons, 11 rares, 6 epics, and 6 legendaries. And what that does is it presents an opportunity to basically kind of attack and burn specifically the Chaos Legion reward cards as a targeted audience, but you could burn, if you wanted to, Chaos Legion core cards if you had excess of those, or Rift Watchers or whatever else you might want to burn. It may not be optimal to burn sets like Untamed and stuff like that, but certainly you could. But basically the idea is to create, again, a dust set here only available by burning cards of the same type. And basically you'd have 10 common, 11 rare, 6 epics, and 6 legendary cards created for this set. Now, the multiplier, I've simplified it to be as simple as possible. And basically, you would burn 5 regular foil BCX to earn 1 equivalent regular foil dust BCX. And at the same time, you would burn 2 gold foil BCX to earn 1 gold foil dust card of the same rarity. Now, what that does is, just, I guess, to put it into perspective, for example, if you wanted the water common that was maybe equivalent to the Pelacor Bandit in the Chaos Legion reward set coming out of this new DAO dust set, you would basically have to burn 5 Pelacor bandit BCXs to receive 1 BCX of this new modern dust set card. Now, what that means is, for example, if you wanted a max copy of this, let's say equivalent water Pellicore bandit, you would basically need to burn 5 max copies of a Chaos Legion reward Pellicore bandit, for example, to get 1 max copy of this Dao common water card. Now, what you can see, what that does is when you extrapolate the cost per BCX using the current market price with that multiplier, if you look at the estimated max level cost column with the Rebellion ceiling max cost columns, what you can see for the most part is you're able to get a max copy of these equivalent new dust cards at the different rarities and foil levels, basically for essentially the same or less than you would be able to purchase an equivalent Rebellion card in the Rebellion card set, kind of using that as the watermark of what we want to get to for valuations for cards. Now, what I've also done is I've extrapolated what the potential burned cards in participation of this event might be. Now, I took the liberty to just use kind of ROM or rough order of magnitude numbers here for the burn. And basically, for regular foil, if we assumed 500 players burning the equivalent Chaos Legion reward cards to get the equivalent max level dust card equivalent, basically that's the potential card burned column that you see in the screen in front of you. Now, what that means when it compared to the total Chaos Legion reward card pool, you can see the total percent burned based on those kind of extrapolated data and figures. So basically, we're looking at if we had 500 people participate in this set to get max level dust cards, and that doesn't include anyone that wanted silver, bronze, or gold level cards, which would be additional burns here. But basically, you're looking at anywhere between, let's say, roughly 17% to 24% of the Chaos Legion reward card set being burned as part of this set creation. That's pretty significant when you also add that to the increased value and utility of land for those card sets. And obviously that takes into account some of the increase in cost and value of those cards in the market because of such a set being released. So it's kind of all baked in here to the numbers. Now the gold foil percent burned is a little bit less because I assume that there might be only, let's say, 50 players that wanted to burn the equivalent gold foil versions of those Chaos Legion reward cards to get a Dao dust set. You can see here the percent burned of the Chaos Legion reward gold foil set varies on this from this calculation anywhere between 3% to around 14% of the total Chaos Legion reward minted gold foils. But in either case, I think this could be a quick win for us to get the card market, especially for the Chaos Legion card set, in a better spot to reduce some of that overhang and do it in an exciting way that brings excitement into the game. We're talking about a 33 card set here that the team would need to create, whether that would be in addition to whatever the expansion set is for Conclave Arcana, or to replace it. I mean, that would be up to the team to maybe decide if they wanted to forego revenue to make up for some of the mistakes of the past, to kind of throw out an olive branch to the player community to say, hey, we messed up with Chaos Legion. Instead of getting revenue from an expansion set from Conclave Arcana, let's try and fix some of the debt that we have in the community and in the card market. Let's go ahead and do a 33 card dust set here, and let's burn some of that, add value back to the economy, add value back to the assets, couple with land, and let's really get something cooking here with our card market. As an alternative option, if we decided that it didn't make sense to create an expansion set because that would introduce a set number of new cards and new abilities that, while decreasing the actual minted number of cards in existence, would create actually the existence of physically new types of cards, which would essentially be additive as well, we could reduce it and use a model similar to the Hall of Legends, where we would have the Splinterlands team come up with a kind of a promo set or reduced number of set, maybe like a handful of cards, maybe like 6 to 12 cards that would be only available as part of this burn mechanic, where you'd have different rarities. It wouldn't all be legendaries. For example, you'd have maybe 2 commons, 2 rares, 2 epics, 2 legendaries, or something like that, 2 or 3 per rarity type, only available through this burning mechanism. So that could be an option as well if we didn't want to go with a full 33 card set that mirrored the reward card set, as an example. The actual multiplier number then would have to be slightly adjusted because there'd be less card types or card physical or unique cards available to mint, so the mint numbers would have to be increased a little bit, but definitely the numbers could be adjusted and tweaked accordingly. In either case, whether it's a brand new 33 card set or in addition to an expansion set, it's definitely an option I think that makes sense. It's something that I would like to propose to the community to discuss, to have the team consider. And let's, we talk about tech debt a lot, of the stuff that the team kind of owes us when it comes to things like, boss monsters or everything else that has been promised in the past that hasn't been delivered. Well, I think at some point we have to look at some of the overhang of the card market and the card minting debt that also needs to be looked at. And a card like a Dow dust set that we burn cards to create new cards with a multiplier here, for example, of 5x on regular foil and 2x on gold foil, I think makes a lot of sense. What do you think? Is this something that we should look to do? Does this idea make sense? And is it something that we should pursue, perhaps as a DAO proposal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, keep stacking those stats.